Hello and welcome to liveconfident.com, and in today's live stream I'm going to share with you a little story. It's called The Two Seeds, and for me it's a little bit of a paradigm shift in thinking. That's what this story can do for you. It's possibly the best analogy of life that I've ever heard, and I want to share it with you today, because in recent live streams we've got onto the theme of creating direction, creating focus in your life. We set out on this path with, I took you through a tool called the North Star Dream Mapper, where you identify your original dream for life, wherever you want it to be, maybe 3 or 5 years from now, and we turned it into a goal, and we created the steps that you will need to take to reach this goal. And so instead of having no direction in life, you now had direction and something to aim for, and you could tune out all the negativity that may be coming at you when you have something to focus on, a North Star to follow. And then we moved on to problem solving. When you've got a problem that's preventing you from taking the first step towards your goal, whether it's in your mind or whether it's something in your environment, we discuss problem solving, how to get over that problem and get moving. And we talked about the 3 options that you have when it comes to a problem. You either learn to live with it, you change it, or you leave the problem. I mean, you can literally leave the problem. If you've got negative people in your environment and you know that you can't change the situation, you can literally leave, go to a new area. It's an extreme solution, maybe, but it is a solution, and people have done it, and I've done it. And I've discussed that in a previous live streams. So it is a solution. But your problem may call for a different solution that might not be an option for you at this moment in time. And we discussed the logical levels. This is something designed by a guy called Robert Dilts, and you can Google it, logical levels, and you'll see images of a pyramid, and there's about 6 levels on this pyramid, and it begins with the environment, then it moves up to behaviour, then it moves to capabilities and beliefs, then identity and spirituality. And you identify where your problem exists on this logical level pyramid. And then you don't look for the solution on the same level or the lower levels. You always have to find the solution on a higher level from where the problem exists in order to find the solution. So we discussed that. But sometimes a problem just needs a little bit of a mind shift, a little bit of a paradigm shift in your thinking in order to get you moving again. Because you may have just been stuck in this problem for years and you've become institutionalized to it, and you need some motivation, some different way of thinking about it, a different way of looking at the problem in order to get moving. And for me, this is what this little story does. It helps you look at life from a different angle. So let me share it with you. And it's called The Two Seeds. And it's about 2 seeds that live below the earth. And one day, one seed says to the other, look, I want to push to the surface. I'm going to do it. I'm going to push to the surface. And then when I get to the surface, I'm going to grow and develop. And I'm going to become the beautiful flower that I'm destined to become. And people are going to stop and look at me. And I'm going to make their day better. And I'm going to make a difference in this world. And it's going to make me happy on the inside too. And the other seed, it thinks about this. And it says, well, don't you know how difficult that will be, what you're saying? Just to push to the surface, how hard that will be. And the challenges you'll face. And when you get to the surface, the rain up there is going to pound down on you. And the wind is going to try and break you, and the sun, well, that'll just try and burn and scorch you. No, 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 no. It's far safer, far better to just stay down here, safe underground. So, the seed, well, it's determined. It's taken on board what the other seed said, but it wants to leave this situation. And it wants to grow, and it wants to fulfill its purpose in life. So it begins its journey. It pushes to the surface. And it is a difficult challenge. And it does struggle. But it has motivation, it has purpose and determination and perseverance, sees it through to the surface. And when it reaches the surface, the rain does pound down on it, and the sun does scorch it at times, and the wind does try and blow at it. But instead of breaking it, all these elements instead help it to grow flexible, to grow strong, and to flourish into that beautiful flower that the seed wanted to become. And when that happened, people did stop and they did look at the flower, and it did make them smile. And the flower itself smiled on the inside, knowing it had fulfilled its purpose. And it was changing other people for the better in a little way. Meanwhile, a little bit later, a hungry bird landed near to the flower, and it started rummaging beneath the surface of the soil, and it found the other seed down there, and it had it for lunch. Now, isn't that a perfect analogy for life? You stay safe in your comfort zone, trying to avoid attention and getting noticed, for fear that you'll be humiliated in some way. People will mock you, whatever it is in your mind that keeps you trapped in that mental prison and hidden in your comfort zone, and never pushing the boundaries and exploring life, and instead watching other people enjoy life and being able to socialize with each other and move on in their careers and make the connections with other people that will help them get better jobs. Because let's face it, that's how life works. You have to know the right people to get on in your career and your work life. Just having the best knowledge, the best skills at the job is not enough. I've done enough jobs in my life to know that that's true. The people in the management positions, in industries, in companies and businesses, they're not always the right people for that role, but they had the right personality, even if they didn't have the right skill level. If they had the personality to make connections and communicate on the level that it required, then they could always delegate the skills needed to somebody else. And if they didn't have the skills to do that, then they didn't fulfill their role very well. But just having the skills and having the ability and the best grades for that job is not enough in life. You have to be able to make the connections with the people above you in order to progress in career and business. And in social lives, you have to reach out and make connections with people to build friend networks. And that's just the way life is. And if you don't do that, then you end up being, your whole world is you and maybe just one or two other people. And life eats you up when you don't have the strength of a support network to reach out to when you need it. And so that, for me, is what that story represents. And being a whole person, being a confident person, a person that can interact and make connections with others, for me, it's a jigsaw puzzle. No one thing is going to change your life. No one change is going to change everything. It's going to change a little thing one jigsaw piece of your life. And there's probably multiple things, when you think about it, that are keeping you held back. Maybe it's your appearance. Maybe it's the fact that you don't have the social skills to communicate with people. Maybe it's your job, which is pulling down your self-esteem. There could be multiple different things, and if you correct one of these areas, then you'll build a little bit of confidence in that area, and it will help. It will feed you, and it will help you to grow and flourish in other areas too. It will give you the strength to take on other areas of your life. But changing one area does not change everything. I've shared with you in previous live stream that I once had surgery under my eyes because I developed eye bags and dark skin underneath my eyes at quite a young age, in my early 20s, and it destroyed my self-confidence. And I thought, if I can just have surgery on that, it's going to change everything. And eventually, towards my late 20s, I did have surgery. I saved up the money and I did it. And it did change things. But it didn't change everything, it just changed one aspect. It was one piece of the jigsaw puzzle that fell into place. And since then, I've done other things to address other pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, like learning social skills or developing tools for my poor memory. And these are all different pieces of the confidence jigsaw. And this story, your mindset, is one piece of the jigsaw. If you're stuck in a negative mindset and you can't get out of it, that's one piece of the jigsaw that you need to change and slot into place. And I think that this story is a little bit of a paradigm shift. It helps you to break out of that negative mindset when you're able to look at life from a little bit of a different angle. So you may be stuck in your comfort zone. This story takes you out of your life. Just imagine hovering above your life with this story in mind and looking down at the ground and those two seas below the ground, and which of those two seas are you? Are you the one that is arguing for staying safe beneath the ground, or are you the one that's got the mental determination to push to the surface and become the person that you want to become, regardless of all the elements in the environment that might appear to be trying to keep you from developing, but which are in fact going to feed you and help you to develop, maybe through the adversity which makes you stronger. Which seed are you? Look down from outside of your life and decide. And if you're on the wrong side, if you're with the seed that has decided to stay safe beneath the earth, then know that the bird is going to land and it's going to have you for lunch, and life is going to eat you up. So it's up to you. Nobody else is going to change your life for you. You are the one that's got to make that decision. If in fact this whole scenario is relevant to you, you have got to become proactive and become the seed that wants to grow and push to the surface. And you've got to develop those inner resources of determination and perseverance to keep going even when nothing appears to be changing, when all your efforts appear to be coming to nothing and nothing is changing at all. This is what we call the compounding effect. You make changes, and in the beginning nothing seems to change, and this is why most people give up and they go back to how they were. But compounding, it means that you do something for quite a long time and you see no or just barely any results, just little scraps of results. And then all of a sudden, if you keep going long enough, suddenly the compounding effect kicks in and your life takes off like this. And that is the compounding effect. It's applicable to finances and money, and you might save just a couple of pounds a week. But then the interest adds to that money over the months and years. And 20 years down the line, compounding effect kicks in and your money doubles and quadruples. And and it takes off. And that is the compounding effect, and it's the same here. You make little decisions every day, positive decisions, and you change things, and you identify what is going wrong and what you need to break out of. Go for the North Star Dream Mapper. Map out a plan of what you need to do. Develop your goal and create those steps towards it. Look in this in the Facebook group, the Shyness and Social Anxiety Motivator Breakthrough group. In the units, you'll be able to access that North Star Dream Mapper tool. It's there, it doesn't cost anything, it's freely available to you. Access it. Develop a plan so that you've got direction in life, something to aim for, and you've got the building blocks of how to get there. Okay, I think I've done enough talking in this live stream, and I hope you've been a little bit motivated, a little bit inspired enough to maybe tune into the next live stream, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for listening. Okay, let's do this again.